Hey Artsies, what I want to show you today is how to take your dramatic selfie that you've taken and get it ready for being able to make our pastel drawings. So we're going to try a few things to tweak the color and to get it to a better kind of cropped level for the drawing. So the first thing that you're going to do is crop it down for the drawing. We're using a paper that is 22 by 28. If you want to constrain the paper, you can do it like that. We won't always use that size of paper, but that's what we're currently using. And so I've typed in 22 by 28, and I'm on the crop tool in Photoshop, which is over here on the right hand side. It's got this kind of cropped edge tool, and you see that you have these sliders here. So you can actually grab the corner of your rectangle and drag it in tight. And the first thing that I'm going to get you to do is to make sure that you're really tight in on your face. It's a lot easier to do this project and to draw this in pastel if you've got a really close crop with minimal background here. Okay, so unless you have something that is especially interesting in the shoulder or in a hand or something like that, you're trying to crop as close as possible. So that's step one. I'm going to get off the crop tool just by pressing that top menu. The second thing I'm going to do is mess with the colors and the contrast. And all these kinds of adjustments are over here on the right hand side, and they're called adjustment layers in Photoshop. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to this thing called levels. All right, it's the second one on the top, and I'm going to click it, and it brings you up a histogram of lights and darks. So you can see there's a lot of information over here and not a lot over there. These are the darks and these are the lights. So you can see how that would match up to the photo. I'm going to pinch this just a little bit to make a higher contrast image and darken the background a little bit. I want that really overly dramatic chiaroscuro kind of look. All right, so you can play with that. That's the levels adjustment layer. When I'm done, I'm going to click this double arrow to bring it away, and it's right here. You can kind of, if you want to look at the before and after, here's clicking on the eyeball shows you the before and the after. And then this is our main tool. It's called the curves adjustment layer. So I'm going to click once, just once, not twice, to bring this up, and we're going to mess with these to create sort of unusual, exciting, expressive kind of colors instead of just your standard. Now we're starting with some expressive color already because we did our photo shoot in the drama studio, used the theater light, so this already has a greeny blue tinge to it, but you could use any dramatically lit portrait that you'd like, even from home with regular light in your bedroom or anything like that, and still get these interesting colors. You don't have to start with theater lights. So here is something called the RGB channels, the red, green, and blue. What we're going to do is click down into this menu and make changes to the individual ones. So I'm going to start with the red. There's not a lot of red in this image, but you notice that if I tweak this up and bring this curve by clicking and holding and moving it, I can amp up some of the reds in that image. Next, I'm going to go down to the greens. All right, if I pull it down, that means I'm pulling away the green from the image, or pulling it up means I'm adding green to the image. So I'm going to pull it down here, and just for interest, I'm going to pull it up a little bit there. All right, I kind of like that. All right, that pinky to the turquoisey blue. So whenever you like that option, what you're going to do is you're going to go File, Save As, and change the type of image to a JPEG. All right, and under Format here, and you're going to call this, all right, your last name, option 1, in a new folder. All right, so I'll make a new folder, pastel portraits. Just like that. It'll take a second to save that JPEG. What you're doing is you're actually saving a copy of that image as as a JPEG. So you always want to bring the slider right up to maximum, hit OK, and you'll notice that your window goes back to the same thing it was. All right. So now I'm going to tweak it even further. I'm going to go down to the blue adjustment layer, and now blue is really going to make huge changes because there's lots of blue in this. So if I pull this down, it's going to get really green. Because you remember I pulled up the green a little bit in some places. So again, you can kind of play with it. You can add multiple. You can see that you can add multiple dots on it, and the weirder the curve, the more posterized the kind of the edges that creates here, and the more kind of unusual color choices there are here. So here's another one. I like that. So I'm going to go File, Save As, change it to a JPEG, put it into my pastel portraits folder that I created. Right, I'm going to call it Coleman Option 2. All right, and you want to keep on going with this until you have like around 5 different options. All right, if you ever get to a point that the options are just so wild and messed up that you don't know what to do anymore, this is a curves adjustment layer. This is where we were doing all of our edits on. You can actually click, hold, and drag it to this trash bin down there in the bottom right hand corner of the layers palette. You're back to your regular image. You can then click back into a curves and start afresh. So here this is affecting just the RGB panel, which is kind of cool. All right, this is all 3 at once. This is just like a super dramatic light and dark with some interesting stuff there. That's pretty cool. All right, so File, Save As. Again, click back into your folder, change it to a JPEG, and so on. Okay, so there you go. That's pretty much that sums it up, what we're doing. Coming up with different options. Interesting, bright, expressive, could be totally wild colors for your pastel portrait. Give it a try.